The path to Hollowmere Forest wound like a silver thread through the early morning mist, and Sapphire followed it with steady steps. Her mind, however, wandered elsewhere. Ella. It had been so long since she last saw her old friend. Years, maybe, memories blurred at the edges now. But she remembered laughter under the summer sun. Whispered promises of endless adventures. They had been split up when their villagers needed to relocate after the last harvest floods. And life had simply carried them apart. Sapphire tight and the strap on her dagger belt. New adventures mean new friends. She told herself, it's just how life works. Still, as the trees grew thicker and the hush of the forest closed in, she found herself pausing by a large oak, the bark rough and familiar against her fingertips. She sat down, letting the quiet wash over her. The past felt close here. She was just about to get up when a voice startled her. "Excuse me," said a young girl. Maybe 15, her bright orange hair tied into a playful side ponytail, swaying as she approached. She wore a hot pink dress that flowed just past her knees, the long sleeves rippling slightly with every step. Black leggings peeked out underneath, and a sleek sword hung at her side, balanced easily as if it belonged. A cute hot pink cut air headband perched on her head, and at her feet, a small cat with shimmering fur followed closely. A faint ghostly mist clung to her, so subtle it could have been imagination. But Sapphire knew magic when she saw it. "Can you help me find the way to Shadowleaf Village?" the girl asked, her vivid green eyes hopeful and a little mischievous. Sapphire blinked, taken aback both by the girl's unusual appearance and a strange tug of familiarity deep inside her. "Of course," she said, recovering quickly. "You're almost there. Just keep following the path east until the trees thin out. You'll see the village gate." The girl nodded in thanks, but as she turned to leave, Sapphire blurted out before she could stop herself, "Ella?" The girl froze, looking back over her shoulder, her green eyes wide. "How do you know my name?" Sapphire stood quickly, her heart pounding. The mist, the cat companion, the mischievous spark, it all clicked together. "Wait a second," Ella said, her face breaking into a slow, amazed smile. "Are you Sapphire?" The laughter that followed was quick and bright, scattering the tension like sunlight through mist. They caught up for a few precious minutes, standing there in the shadow of the ancient trees, their conversation a blur of half-told stories and shared excitement. Ella explained she was traveling, hoping to settle in Shadowleaf for a while, and Sapphire shared her own first quest assignment, eventually with a playful wink and a promise to catch up properly soon. Ella and her good companion set off toward the village, vanishing into the misty trail. Sapphire stayed for a moment longer, heartful, even in a world of endless change. "Some threads, some people found a way back to you." A low growl snapped her back to the present. Before she could react, a blur of movement slammed into her side, knocking her to the ground. The Forest Prowler, sleek, fast, and far more vicious than she expected, bared its fangs inches from her face. Sapphire struggled, pushing against its weight. Claws raked her arm, burning like fire. Gritting her teeth, she yanked her dagger free and drove it into the creature's side. Sapphire rolled aside, blood dripping from her scratch. She moved her hands instinctively, feeling the familiar, chilly pulse of magic stirring in her core. Ice crystallized in the air, swirling around her fingers. With a sharp cry, she unleashed the spell. The Forest Prowler froze mid-lunge, a thin sheen of ice trapping it in place. Panting, Sapphire gripped her dagger tighter, circling the creature. She had precious seconds before it broke free. Her eyes scanned its body, strong legs, sharp teeth, but a soft, exposed patch just behind its forelimb caught her attention. There! With a final burst of speed, she plunged her dagger into the weak spot. The prowler gave a shuddering cry, and then slowly, almost peacefully, dissolved into mist, carried away by the cold wind. A small stone clinked to the ground where it had vanished. Sapphire knelt, wiping blood from her brow, and picked it up. It was warm to the touch, A brown-orange stone, swirling faintly with an inner light. A physical stone. She had heard of these in guild training. Proof of a creature's defeat. And sometimes the key to new strength. Tucking the stone carefully into her pouch, Sapphire rose, her body aching but her spirit soaring. Today had given her more than she ever expected. An old friend, a hard-won victory, and her first true arc as an adventurer.